Henri Veesaar commits to North Carolina, which, Mike, if you're watching North Carolina this year, that was the weakness. The weakness of this North Carolina team is that they didn't have interior play. So how much of a difference year over year is Veesaar going to make?
I've never seen anyone as excited for a commitment as he is for Henri Veesaar, North Carolina. The last person that was that excited about something was Rob Doster when Silas Demery committed to UConn.
Yeah, that was, we did 3 hours
about that a little bit.
Let's go into Demery for
emergency podcast.
No, it's a huge pickup. It is. I think we know what the pitfalls of this North Carolina team was this year, and it was on that front line. And when you get Veesaar, he's a modern day big because he's a rim runner. He can rebound at a high level. He protects the paint. He protects the basket. He alters shots, and just you saw when Arizona surged this year, it coincided with Veesaar getting an elevated role. Once Krivas went out, he came in, and in games where he scored double figures this year, Arizona was 14-3. He's a stud, and I think he's one of those guys where, by far highest plus minus on the Arizona team, because you can put him in different spots. You don't need to throw the ball into him in the post, although he can be effective down there. He can be a rim threat. I want to see who North Carolina, ends up getting at that guard spot to be able to play off of him, throw lobs, rim run. I'm really excited if I'm a Carolina fan.
He is everything that you want out of a modern day big. Right.
Absolutely.
He's got the length. He's got the size. He's got a mean streak. He's going to try to dunk on you. He dunked on a lot of people this year. He doesn't look – he's one of these European guys, but he's tough as hell, man. And he can protect the rim. You can play him in that drop coverage, and he's going to be able to take away those 2-on-1s, right? He can get out and defend on the perimeter if you need him to. I've seen him make threes this season, right? Yep. Like he can actually shoot it a little bit. He has everything that you want out of a modern-day big, and his numbers don't pop off the screen, right? I think it's like
9-4,
9-5, something like that. But Arizona had a setup that was similar to what UConn's done in the past, that was similar to what we see with Duke, right? Where what they want to do is have one guy that plays one way, Henri Veesaar, and then Toby Awaka would come in and play a completely different way. Thunder and Lightning is what I called him. And
good nickname, Rob.
When he gets to Carolina, why you hating, man?
I mean, we got to do a little better in 2025 than Thunder and Lightning.
Don't make me tell some stories from last night, man.
I'm sure at some point the stories will get told. They've been told a million times. They'll get told again. Some of those need to be kept private, though.
Yes,
just for the sanctity of the event.
He's everything you want out of a modern day big, and he is the perfect fit for what North Carolina was missing. Got to get the guards around him, but he is the good starting point for where North Carolina.
He's a pro.
Yeah, I think Mike hit on it right away, and that's the biggest thing I'm interested to see with R.J. Davis being gone, obviously Elliot Cadeau being gone. What guards are you tracking now to go try to pair with these guys? I think it's going to be more than anything a concerted effort. Number one for Carolina to try to get longer. They lost to Duke 3 times this year. Which never goes over.
You can't. I love Seth Trimble. You can't play Seth Trimble at the 3.
You get what I'm saying?
You just can't do that.
It wasn't only that they didn't have bigs and somebody to kind of be that anchor in the front court, but it was that they had little guards. Yeah. And let's be honest about it. Outside of Trimble, everybody else kind of struggled. We're selective playing defense at least. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I'll add too, not only just the point guard spot for Carolina, but being able to really guard, I think, accentuates the defensive abilities of Veesaar as well. If you have guards that are getting blistered off the dribble, now Veesaar's got to come over and help, and he's better off where he can just be a weak guy that comes over from the weak side that just alters a shot with a guard sliding over with him. So that's what I'm looking for too. Not only just offensively, what that backcourt looks like, but how strong it is on the defensive end as well to keep those guys out of the paint. And when they do get in there, you got another body with them, and Veesaar can contest.
Yeah, some other portal news today, which I thought was, obviously nothing that happens from today. The rest of the time we'll be able to touch Silas Demery. But
we're back, baby.
Yeah,
we're back. We'll see Indianapolis 2026.
My house.
$4 billion for him in this economy, right?
What,
Silas? For Silas, $4 billion.
Not
enough. Still underpaid.
I would have paid 5.
You would have paid 5.
$5 billion.
$5 billion, yeah.
$5 billion?
$5 billion would have been.
Another, I thought, key addition today was Jacoby Gillespie committing to Tennessee.
Yes.
Obviously, they're looking to replace Zakai Ziegler, and this feels like, Rob, one of the first steps in doing that.
The thing that was the most telling to me about that was Jacoby Gillespie comes from Belmont. goes to Maryland, has a huge year, right? We've seen a lot of guards transfer up from the mid-major level to the high-major level and not be able to make that kind of a leap, right? J.P. Pegues is the perfect example at Auburn. We thought he was going to be a difference maker there. He don't play anymore, right? Jacoby Gillespie goes Belmont, Maryland, has an all-league. But was he all Big Ten? If he wasn't all Big Ten, he was good enough to be all Big Ten.
He had to make one of the teams.
Third team. I think he was 13.
Yeah, third team all Big Ten. So he goes there, plays for Willard. Willard gets a new job. They put a big money offer, Villanova did, for him, and he's at Tennessee. And to me, that kind of that says something. Hey, zoom in on Jarrell's face when he made that look. Dagan's gone. Our producer's gone. So we can't even look. If I could throw it to you, you're not even going to be on camera anymore. Where's Dagan? Where's Dagan? Jarrell, that says a lot to me.
No, I think it does. I think it definitely does. I think we would have assumed it was going to be a foregone conclusion that Willard leaving after the year that Gillespie had for him at Maryland, somebody that he knows he can depend on in a high stressful situation where it's like, you know, I get it, it's a new deal, but Kevin Willard needs guys so he can get some wins next year and start inching at least getting close to getting back in the tournament, because that's a fan base that's not anything less than that is going to be looked at like, oh, here we go again. But yes, I would look at it with a side eye a little bit about maybe it speaks to their relationship. I'm not sure whether there's something going on in the locker room or if just Gillespie felt like Tennessee was a better fit. Because I'm being honest, I feel like, again, Tennessee knocks it out of the ballpark, not necessarily just with the personnel and the talent, but guys that kind of fit with what they do.
I think one thing I will add to that is, you know, Jacoby Gillespie is from Tennessee. So there had been talk about potentially going home. So maybe there is a Willard aspect to it, but there is that.
Let's also say to it as well. That the rumors about Jacoby Gillespie, that conversation started in like January.
It was
you heard that. You heard
ago,
that.
yeah.
John probably didn't hear it because he was too busy texting.
I'm working the transfer portal.
No, but like let's talk about the fit at Tennessee, because you're filling in for Zakai Ziegler, who, you know, let's be honest, Gillespie's the better offensive player than Ziegler. I think we can all agree on that. Is he at least comparable defensively? I mean, Ziegler was an incredible defender.
But he was small.
Yeah.
Like,
He was small.
And Jacoby
he was
isn't-
turnover prone,
Yeah.
and ultimately his offensive limitations just hurt them. I mean, they did. And I think, honestly, I'm willing to give Rick Barnes the benefit of the doubt on if he takes a guy, like he trusts that he's going to be able to guard enough.
They've changed their mindset. I've talked with their staff about this. They changed their mindset in how they go out and attack transfers. Because what they wanted to do for a while was, let's go get the biggest, baddest, toughest dudes, and you ain't going to score on us. And what they realized was, we can teach people how to play defense. Like, we can coach that up in you. We can identify toughness in guys that have the potential to be good on that end of the floor. What we can't teach you how to do is, like, be able to make a shot and shoot. We can't teach you to be able to make a play off the bounce if you can't dribble. We can't teach you how to play in the pit. Like, so what they've started doing is going out and getting dudes that get buckets, and then just saying, we're going to teach you how to play defense. We're going to teach you how to guard. And
well, I mean, the issue with them has been that they just have one of those guys on the court at one time. I mean, they had Dalton Connect, was great, got him to the Elite Eight, fell short. They replaced Dalton with Chaz Lanier, who's basically Dalton Connect, and they fall short in the Elite Eight again. So it does kind of seem like now Rick Barnes saying, hey, listen, just get me a guy who can play team defense. I need somebody that can put the ball in the bucket, in the bucket now, because I'm falling short because of my offense.
It's a portion of that too, where it's like those guys that are getting the buckets or the bucket getters aren't necessarily strong defenders either, but they're surrounded by an all-star defensive cast. I feel like, you know, between Zakai Ziegler and Meshack. I mean, I still think Ziegler, even with his size and his shortcomings offensively, you can't teach the guy that can slide his feet like that on the perimeter.
He was SEC defensive player of the year, wasn't he?
And the pressure that he applies at the point of attack is something, you know, that's really understated. It makes a huge impact on everything that they do.
Picking you up full court.
Man, it wears people down.